And we continue on season 2 of the New York Knicks player previews. Today we have Ariel Hukporti. Ariel Hukporti, fan favorite Ariel Hukporti, going into his second year as a New York Knick. Obviously, we had high hopes for him last year, at least I did, and he showed glimpses and flashes last year. Remember, in the beginning of the season, he was battling with Jericho Sims, and we thought that Tom Thibodeau should have went with Ariel Hukporti rather than Jericho Sims. They later trade Jericho Sims and put Ariel Hukporti in that role. And Chris, just as he was starting to play well last year, he tore his meniscus in his knee. But this year, I am excited about Ariel Hukporti, Chris. Can't wait to talk about him.
Yeah, Ariel Hukporti, pure energy off of that bench for the New York Knicks. And like you mentioned, unfortunately, when he finally got his first NBA start, goes down with a torn meniscus. And of course, it had to be against the Philadelphia 76ers.
He came back in that game too, by the way. At least tried to.
Yeah, tried to, which is crazy, but I love that. Shows the heart, shows the grit. And look, Ariel Hukporti, he was just starting to find his game out there. Which was blocking shots, finishing lobs. Has a little bit of a push shot in the paint too. So, look, we didn't get to see much, unfortunately. Once he went down with the injury, he never came back. But I'm upset. I'm excited. I'm excited to see Ariel Hukporti. I personally think he's going to be a part of the rotation. And I mean, what do you think about Ariel Hukporti in this upcoming season?
Truly excited. Look, I've been saying that one of these second-year sophomores are going to blossom for the New York Knicks, and I'm down to Hukporti or Pacom Daddier. And Hukporti just, to me, has the tools. He's a good rim protector. He showed glimpses of that last season. He's a great finisher around the rim. He'll yam it on your ass. He's a great pick and roll player. I mean, sometimes that's underrated in players because sometimes you try to teach it, but I mean, some players just have the nick and the knack, and they just have the wherewithal to be in their certain spot when the point guard's coming around the pick. And I think Hukporti has those tools. And like you said, you're expecting him to be in the rotation. So am I. Like, if the New York Knicks are starting Mitchell Robinson, then Ariel Hukporti is definitely, in my opinion, going to be in the rotation. You essentially backing up Mitchell Robinson. Yes, you can put Yabusele out there and kind of run a small lineup, but I think Mike Brown is going to fall in love with Hukporti just based on, his size, the tools. Summer League was okay, Chris, but I can't really read too much stock in that, but I just love what I saw last year on the court from Hukporti. Battled his way, like we said. He tore his meniscus. Then he came back in the game. Then he got ruled out. And then he came all the way back last season for the New York Knicks. Played a little bit down the stretch. But, it's just unfortunate that his season got ended early because right when he was just starting to gain the trust of former Knicks head coach Tom Thibodeau, it's unfortunate that he got hurt. And durability is a concern with Hukporti, and that scares me a little bit based on the fact that he's backing up Mitchell Robinson, who also has durability issues. But I think with the right coaching, the right system, the right minutes, and another year of continuity again, I mean, we're pretty much coming back with the same team. I think Hukporti, I truly do think there's a little bit of Hartenstein in there, Chris. There's a little bit of Isaiah Hartenstein in there. And it's just his second year. Remember, Hartenstein didn't pop until, year 4, year 5? I really feel like the Knicks found a gem in Hukporti, and he could be, let's say the Knicks they haven't extended Mitchell Robinson yet. Let's say they ship him off. They could just feel comfortable with Hukporti. Now, again, totally two different players. Mitchell Robinson's dominant in terms of his defensive ability and his offensive rebounding. Hukporti's not there yet. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying that, to me, I have big, high hopes for Ariel Hukporti in year 2. I really do.
Yeah. And look, you mentioned iHeart and flashes of iHeart, and it's no secret Ariel Hukporti has been mentored by iHeart.
Yep.
So it's their games are pretty similar. They train together. And yeah, look, I have high hopes for Hukporti as well. And I see him coming off that bench, backing up Mitchell Robinson, if he's starting, and running out there with guys like Josh Hart, Yabusele, Jordan Clarkson. That makes me excited, man. I feel like he's going to do great in Mike Brown's system,
Yep.
in a fast paced system. Because you see Ariel Hukporti when he got out there at times, he's just a ball of energy running up and down that court, just giving 100%. So, now being a little bit more seasoned, granted, yes, his season got cut short due to injury, but I think he's going to go out there and he's going to have an impact. He's going to have an impact. And he's actually one of the key guys, I think, at least from the group of young guys. I feel he's going to be the one making the biggest jump here.
Likewise, and I think he benefits well playing with a passive point guard. We saw him and Kolek last year have pretty good chemistry. So when
Yeah.
we have him on the bench, he's going to be in with Josh Hart. He's going to be in with guys who push the pace. Clarkson, Yabusele. He's going to be in with those guys. Obviously, we're not saying that Hukporti is going to be, 15 to 20-minute a night type of player, but I feel like he has that in his upside. But when it comes to, the finishing around the rim and, the even like defensively, Chris, he just has a knack to him where he had some big blocks last year. Like if I remember correctly, there was some plays where he would recover nicely. There was a play where he guarded like two or three guys in one position. I forgot who they were playing, but he has that in him. And for a second-year sophomore player that is projected to back up Mitchell Robinson, to me it's just fireworks with Hukporti, and I'm expecting really big things out of him this year. And look, he's gonna have to adjust now that he's the backup center off the bench because it's just him and Yabusele, and I kind of like that duo a little bit. And I know
Yeah.
Yabusele would mix and match with Cat a little bit, but I'm a Hukporti fan. Like I'm a Hukporti stan, Chris. Like I am on the Ariel Hukporti train. I know that there are players where we put our stamp on and they never pan out, but something's telling me like it is September 11th, 2025, and something's just telling me that Hukporti is going to be a really, really solid player and a really solid rotational player. And in a year when the New York Knicks have high championship aspirations, it wouldn't shock me if Ariel Hukporti is contributing to that.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
either. Look, he just has a feel for the game out there,
yeah,
He just has this feel. And look, I'm not gonna put him in the same tier as a Mitchell Robinson, but I think it makes me excited, based off of what we've seen from Hukporti in a short amount of time.
yeah.
If he's backing up Mitchell Robinson, I think that's a good thing for us. We're talking about, you know, a team that was running out, no shade to Jericho Sims, but running out Jericho Sims out there
Shout out
who,
Jericho.
yes, he could jump, but look, at times he was overmatched out there. With Hukporti, you get a 7-footer out there, spelling Mitchell Robinson, who can impact the game defensively, and if not at the least altering shots, setting pick and rolls, being able to defend the pick and roll a little bit. He has good instincts, so I think he's gonna make a pretty sizable leap, man. And like you said, probably not gonna be something like 15 points a game or things like that. I just
No,
think he's gonna be felt. It's gonna be the small things, the
yeah.
small physical things on defense. The screens on offense, things like that. I think he's gonna have a good season and hopefully a healthy season.
Now, is there a world where he's not in the rotation? Is there a world where Mike Brown shrinks the rotation and just has Yabusele backing up Mitch and Cat, kind of playing Josh Hart with at that force position? You got Clarkson, you got Deuce. That's four. That's nine, Chris. So is there a
Yeah.
world where we're just not off base here, but we're kind of have more expectations than what is going to be thrown out there on October 22nd? Like, There could be a world on October 22nd where the rotation's 9 and Hukporti's not in it.
It's possible. It's possible. Look, we're basing this off of Mitchell Robinson starting alongside Karl-Anthony
So
Towns.
we expect that, right?
We expect that, but we could be wrong. We could be wrong about
Yeah.
that. You know, it could very easily be something like, you know, Yabusele in there for all we know, or even hell, moving up,
Yeah.
putting OG at the 4 or something like that. But we really don't know what Mike Brown's gonna do. We've yet to see the offense. But yeah, I mean, look, there is a scenario where Ariel Hukporti could be kind of, you know, the odd man out. Hopefully not.
Yeah.
I think this team, look, I think we saw it last year. I mean, past season, right? With Mitchell Robinson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Obviously, that can work. And honestly, I think it's a good problem to have. But I do see Hukporti, even in that scenario, still getting some minutes.
Yeah.
Regardless. Maybe not as much as if Mitchell Robinson is starting, but definitely someone who's still going to eventually spell Mitchell Robinson, because I don't think they want to run Mitchell Robinson out there for extended minutes, you know?
I was just about to say that. You stole the words out of my mouth. Like,
boom.
They want to, guard Mitchell Robinson from a future injury. And, knock on wood, they're going to load manage the hell out of Mitchell Robinson.
Yeah.
So Hukporti is going to play a lot, guys, is what we're trying to say, because Mitchell Robinson is not going to play. I don't even think he's going to be playing back-to-backs, at least to start the season. At least I would not do that. I wouldn't push it. Knicks had a great plan for him last year, and it worked out tremendously. And when you have insurance in Ariel Hukporti, I think you just stick with that plan. So big season for Hukporti coming up, Chris. I'm excited. I'm excited to watch the rotation, and I'm excited to watch year 2 of Ariel. I really am.
Yeah, likewise,
let's
man.
do it.
Let's do it, Hukporti. I want to see some amazing blocks and some crazy hoops thrown down by Hukporti.
We've seen it last year.
We're gonna get that. We're gonna get that.
We've seen it last year. That is the player preview for Ariel Hukporti for the 2025-2026 season. Again, every player gets their own video. If you're new here, smash the subscribe button. We are doing this series. This is season 2 of this series. We really appreciate the support. And it's on to the next player. If you guys wanted to see the player videos, they are right here in the middle of the screen. Chris is pointing to it right now because I'm kind of like backwards. But hey, that was Ariel Hukporti. Big season coming up for the big man. Chris, let's go.
Can't wait. Can't wait, man. I see big things.
Like Bart Scott. Can't wait. I'm Anthony from Knicks Nation.
I'm Chris.
Catch you next time. Peace.
Peace.